Greetings and welcome to the pre-show of our Sunday evening live stream. We will be starting things up very soon. Tonight's subject, I'm going to be looking at one particular story. It's another one that is probably a bit uncomfortable for some. But in fact, I'm going to put a poll. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the name Indy Gregory. If you're not, by the end of this live stream, you certainly will be. The story kind of crosses over to other subjects that I've covered in the past. It's stories I've called out as being not on the level. So with that in mind, we are going to watch a video which covers one. Before we do, actually, I do want to give a quick shout out, a thank you to Nathan Oakley 1980, as he gave me a very nice kind shout out during his channel, during his live stream the other day, Thursday. Hang on, let me bring up my screen. We're not actually going to play the audio of it, but don't need to see that. Yeah, if you can read the subtitles. He's mentions me having a channel. He compares me to Russian vids, which I've said before is a massive compliment. Russian vids certainly an influence into me starting a YouTube channel after seeing his stuff. I messaged the guy on Twitter and I said to him, you should, it was something to do with an incident in London, the London Bridge attack. I don't know if you remember that. Anyway, they happened to get a walkover of all the victims. You could tell things weren't legit, and I said to him, look, why don't you cover it? He didn't, so I thought I'd make my own channel and cover it myself. And that was the first live stream I ever put out, was of the London Bridge attack. So yeah, with that in mind, thanks to Nathan, because it got me over 2,000 subscribers. If you have a look, I've done this a few times. I've hit 2k. I think I went up to 2.1k once, only for like 2,000 subs, only for it to drop down to about 1.92 again. It's happened a few times. Last time Nathan mentioned me on his channel and they shared a link in the live chat, which they did the other day, it went over 2k for a little bit and then it drops again. We'll see. I don't think it'll ever, it's been at this number for probably like 4 years now, so that's all I'm expecting. Yeah, before we start, I do need to make myself a drink, and we do have a video to play in with. Firstly though, I want to thank AJ R Wild for commenting in the live chat, mentioning a routing reflex and looks normal. What they're referencing is we used as a preview on this stream one of the shorts I did about 47 million people being fooled by a fake robotic doll, where I said this was a doll. AJ seems to believe this is a real baby. It said looks normal to me. It's what they call routing reflex, and whilst it may look very real, it doesn't cut the mustard for me. As I mentioned, the London Bridge, that was the first place I ever saw them using dolls, and since then I'm seeing them everywhere now on mainstream media. Dolls, nothing but dolls. And that does we'll see. We'll see in tonight's stream. Yeah, the video we're gonna... Right, let me put in... How can I put in a... And what am I trying to do? I want to put a poll in the live chat. How do we do that? Right, plus start a poll. And the poll is going to be... do you believe Indy Gregory is a is a real baby. Was a real baby, I should say, because it's, according to mainstream media, no longer with us. Is it? Was a real baby, question mark. Yes, no, don't know, I'll say. Not sure. Okay, if anyone tunes in and they want to mention, you know, their thoughts in the poll, please do so. As I say, if you're not familiar with Indy Gregory, hopefully by the end of this stream you will be. Okay, I'm going to pop over to... I'm going to turn the music off for a minute. Go back to this. Right, we've got the live chat up, but it's very difficult to see. Let me just make that a bit larger. Oh, I'm not sure, right. Okay, yeah, this video is from... let's see. It is Would Ashley, Kane and Dollface lie about leukemia, particularly about their child having leukemia. This is one of the stories that I think Indy Gregory crosses over with. So I'm going to turn off the live chat for a minute. The video's not long. It might take me more than 3 minutes 40 seconds to get my drink, in which case it should play on a loop. Let me just check that. Yeah, it will play on a loop. I'll turn off the live chat as well for a minute. Yeah, so you're watching a video I did in January 2021. The other story it kind of crosses over with Indy Gregory is that of Archie Battersby. So I invite you to watch this video. I will be back in 3 minutes. Hang on. Why? Yeah, I'll be back in 3 minutes, 3.5, maybe 4 minutes, and we'll get started then. Okay. Let's catch up with you in a minute.
Trick or treat.
Well, if that question is regarding the legitimacy of this couple having a seriously ill baby, I'm going to say it's a trick. In my recent live stream, I looked at the Instagram accounts of a couple of celebs, and I think it needs closer inspection. I had previously stated that it didn't get lower than whoring out a supposed miscarriage on the fake book-owned picture sharing site, but I stand corrected. Mainstream media have got right behind the reported plight of former footballer and ex-on-the-beach contestant Ashley Kane and his partner Safia Voreye, heavily promoting their need for stem cell donors. It is actually an appalling thought that anyone would fabricate a story about a sick child, but a close look at the numerous Instagram pictures that have been posted of this baby, illustrating its time in hospital since mid-October, where it apparently endured 16 doses of chemotherapy in just 11 days, and as well as numerous outfit changes. Not only are the beaming grins of these obvious actors a blatant red flag, when you look closely at the videos, it's clear that trickery is afoot. As a demonstration of what basic CGI can do, look at the video Safia posted in 2017. A free filter capable of overlaying animated objects onto physical things shows how easily it can be done. Now watch this video posted to Ashley's Instagram account on November 26, and notice the hands behind the head shaking it around like the doll it really is. Another strange one, see how many cuts this 30-second video has, also posted to Ashley's account at the end of October.
No, but hear this, I'm with you every step of the way. We came together, we fight together, and we lead together. Let's go, champ. Little lion. I love you. Mwah. Daddy loves you. Let's go, champ. We got this. Uh-huh. You say yeah. She spoke to me. Mwah. I love you.
You don't have to look far to see the usual hoax code numbers either. And for a bit of mockery in plain sight, check out the name Safia goes by on Facebook. Dollface. Now, some out there may have a hard time believing a hospital would go along with such a story. It's worth noting that no actual staff are shown in the pictures, and they could actually have been filmed and taken anywhere. You got to ask, do wards dealing with seriously old babies usually let photographers in to snap a patient's latest outfits, especially in the current climate, and sell the idea that the amount of new donors justifies any deception to any hospital staff that question the integrity, and there is a motive for playing along with such a story. Also, the use of dolls in hospitals isn't that uncommon for training purposes. I've made quite a few videos about dolls being used by celebs. I'd be interested to know if you can see it too. While there are a lot of pictures and videos on both Ashley and Safia's account that look like a genuine baby is being used, any graphical animator worth their salt could produce such a thing. I don't believe any of the celebs I've ever looked at are trying to mislead the public on their own. It seems a joint effort by production companies with which mainstream news outlets are complicit in. As always, thank you for watching and let me know your thoughts.
Trick or treat.
Well, if that question is regarding the legitimacy of this couple having a seriously ill baby, I'm going to say it's a trick. In my recent live stream, I looked at the Instagram accounts of a couple of celebs, and I think it needs closer inspection. I had previously stated that it didn't get lower than whoring out a supposed miscarriage on the fake book-owned picture sharing site, but I stand corrected. Mainstream media have got right behind the reported plight of former footballer and ex-on-the-beach contestant Ashley Kane and his partner Safia Voreye, heavily promoting their need for stem cell donors. It is actually an appalling thought that anyone would fabricate a story about a sick child, but a close look at the numerous Instagram pictures that have been posted of this baby, illustrating its time in hospital since mid-October, where it apparently endured 16 doses of chemotherapy in just 11 days, and as well as numerous outfit changes. Not only are the beaming grins of these obvious actors a blatant... Okay, I'm back at the stream, and welcome to what is the proper beginning of this live stream. We have just done a sort of a 10-minute pre-show where I mentioned tonight's subject is going to be another one, just like Ashley Kane and Safi Varnon and their story about their sick baby, Azalea Diamond Kane. Was that the name? Yeah. Was absolutely not as it seems. There's another story I've also done about Archie Battersby. Again, we've got if we do an intermission tonight, I'll play the video we did about Archie. That one was 7 minutes long, so probably would have been better playing that one to play us in with. But as it happened after... Where are we? Okay, I'll start also by saying a warm hello to Skeptic936 for joining us in the live chat. Possibly the only one tuned in at the minute. Let's see. Also, we've had AJ in the chat. So hi to both of you. If anyone wants to say hello, it's always good to know you're in the chat. Also going on is a poll talking about Indy Gregory. This was a story that happened. This is the main subject we're going to look at this evening. It is, as I say, just like Archie Battersby, just like Azalea Kane, stories that are really going to trigger people. It is almost taboo to suggest that a sick, dying baby can't possibly be... the mainstream media would never fabricate such a thing, but unfortunately, I'm sorry to tell you if you're not aware, yes, they would. 100% they would. There is no subject too low, too too kind of extreme that mainstream media would not cover it. I'll bring up the... Yeah, I'm not sure the best way of looking at this article. This is the main article we're going to look at. And I'm interested to know whether you guys believe Indy Gregory was a story about a real child or not. If you do, I wonder if your opinion will have changed any over the, by the end of this live stream. If you don't believe it's a real baby, then is that in any way influenced by some of the subjects I've covered, such as such as Azalea, all the other celebrity fake pregnancies? However, Indy Gregory, to the best of my knowledge, is not a fake pregnancy. Right, I want to see the pictures in this, but it's a lot easier for you guys to see it on the screen if we look at it in reading mode. Oh, thank you for sharing, Skeptic. Yeah, if anyone does want to share this, I put a tweet out about this actually. If you want to retweet that, then that would be huge. But, if you happen to use Twitter, if not, or if you want to tweet it from your own account, I'm sure that's just as valuable. Right, let's get back to Indy. It is a story in the United Kingdom. Indy Gregory loses her fight for life. Angry and heartbroken parents who fought to continue treatment for the terminally ill 8-month-old says she has passed away after the NHS took away her chance to live. She was referred to the hospice where she died in the early hours of Monday. Right, let's check the actual date of this because it isn't a recent story. 6 days ago. It could be a bit more specific. That surely would have been the 12th or 13th of December. Is this another story where the parents, just like Archie Battersby, I think perhaps we should look at Archie. Yeah, a regular member of the, a regular viewer of my streams 100% believes Archie Battersby was a legitimate child. My opinions differ. Either way, it's another one that is almost taboo and almost untouchable in terms of anyone wanting to discredit the mainstream media and their narrative. A lot of people did point out just how what was reported in the press about Archie differed from things like the actual coroner's verdict. The story of Archie heavily revolved around him doing a TikTok challenge, a dangerous challenge on TikTok, where he ended up accidentally putting himself into a coma, or he died and then they resuscitated him. Obviously, we're talking about what the press are reporting as a 12-year-old. How can this story not be anything but gut-wrenching and it's certainly not something I enjoy covering and questioning, but it has to be done because whereas Archie, just like Indy, isn't necessarily a celebrity, by the end of their time on, they do become celebrities. So we'll have a quick read of it. Let's see. Baby Indy Gregory, who was at the centre of a legal argument over her treatment, has died after having her breathing tube removed. Again, Archie Battersby was very interesting. Yeah, the video I brought out about him was called The Coincidental Funeral of Archie Battersby. We will find it now. I'll have a quick look for it. Yeah, there we go. The Coincidental Funeral of Archie B. And it tied in perfectly with who we just saw on the screen there, Leanne Battersby. Weirdly strange coincidence between a fictional character, which was Alfie. Was it Alfie? I know the name was very similar. What was that? Oliver Battersby, sorry. Oliver Battersby. We'll look in this Coronation Street wiki. This is, agreed to be fictional. Oliver Benjamin Battersby was the son of Leanne Battersby and Steve MacDonald, born in... At 3 years old, he was diagnosed with a life-limiting form of... My goodness, these adverts are over the top. Where are we? Yeah, the main part of the story was that his mother, Summer Spellman's Carrot number 1. Okay, Oliver began to fit uncontrollably. Yeah, Leanne in particular clung on to any sign that he was getting better and being delighted when he spoke. And it ended up with, repeated court cases where the mother was desperately trying to do anything they could to postpone the life support being turned off. Same case with it's the same with the case of Archie, and now in this latest story, Indy Gregory. 8-month-old Indy, who was suffering from an incurable genetic mitochondrial condition, has been involved in several high court and court cases, just like Archie, just like Oliver. Also, you have the crossover with Coronation Street and Archie Battersby, that the mother in both cases were former... I think there was some talk that Archie's mother was a prostitute. In the soap Coronation Street, Leanne Battersby used to be a prostitute. Anyway, judges ruled that she should die last week in that Italy stepped in and made an Italian citizen in a last-minute legal bid to bring her to the Rome hospital for treatment. So this became an international, soap opera. But on Friday, that attempt failed when the parents, Dean Gregory and Claire Stanford, were told that the breathing tube would be removed. I do like getting the numerology calculator out on some of these. Numerology on its own doesn't really say much. Doesn't really tell us much. But let's bring up... Gregory is a 23 name. Indy, the way it's spelt, is 11 and 27. Indy Gregory on its own is a 77. We're looking for dual numbers. They seem to come up constantly in these stories. There is also, the common ones are 22, 33, 44, 66, 23. But, there's plenty of other very good YouTubers that have covered numerology a lot more than I have. And I would certainly recommend checking out their channel. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, we're going to have a look at some of the images of this child, Indy. And another crossover is with, as we said, Azalea Kane, who wasn't, there was no court cases, but just the imagery. It's also interesting how social media is a popular place for these stories to play out. Sort of Instagram is a big place for celebrities to peddle their fake children. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these pictures, if these people had Instagram accounts, I might be curious to have a look. Right, this image here is very real, looks, does look quite clever, and there's not too many obvious flaws. The eyes are a little bit misaligned, but it is not until we come down to this one where the parents of seriously ill children seem to think the most important thing they can do is get photographs of their seriously ill baby. I mean, this was supposed to be a... Hang on. Right. Open image in a new tab. I want to get as good a quality screenshot of this child as possible and see if anyone notices anything about this child. The image quality, as always, is very poor, but does anyone see that? Looks just like a doll. If you ever see NHS training dolls, let's just NHS training dolls. Well, that's certainly... It's this kind of thing. I'm not sure. We need a much better image than that. But that is pretty much what we're seeing here. That is, to me, a doll. Surely we can find better pictures than that, can't we? Yeah, maybe... Yeah, this is a training doll. Well, there's a few training dolls on screen there, but I don't know. I'm not sure if you can see it. Oops. Here another image of the child. I always say, look for the hands and the ears, because that's the things they have most difficulty in photoshopping. In every image, this child has exactly the same expression on its face. If we do a close-up on things like the hands, that finger looks a bit messed up to me, but maybe it doesn't look that bad to you, I'm not sure. You would have to obviously inspect these images yourself. We might watch an interview with Indy's dad, who just happens to have a tattoo on his neck of 2 dice. Do you see what the numbers they read out? You've got 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 33. Looks like he's also got a pentagram or a star just next to him. Is that coincidence? Personally, I don't believe so. Apparently, just like Leanne Battersby, just like Archie Battersby's mother, the heartbroken parents failed to persuade High Court and Court of Appeal judges in London and at the European Court of Human Rights to keep her on life support machine, and have transferred her to the Vatican's Children's Hospital in Rome. The High Court judge had ruled limiting treatment would be lawful, and doing so would be in Indy's best interest. You might think, what reason would anyone have for making up such a distressing, horrible story? Yeah, see, Skeptic agrees it looks like a doll. Skeptic, I think it's just you and me watching tonight, so thank you for tuning in, sharing, and taking part in the chat. That 33 name will come back up again in a minute. Sorry, the 33 will become apparent again. Yeah, so upon hearing that, doctors had moved to withdraw Indy's life support. So, yeah, you might ask, what kind of what would be the motive for making up a story like this? Perhaps we'll try and figure that out as we go along. One idea that comes to my mind is, what if the NHS do become very, they're very quick to give up on people, give up on babies, give up on anyone. And you say, well, isn't anyone campaigning? Yep, people are campaigning. The parents of Indy, only for Indy not even to be legit. Yeah, the best way to control the opposition is to lead it. I mean, I do agree these images look real. They look fairly good. They're done by very good, photoshopists, as it were. But for me, is that a white rabbit? The significance of white rabbits is that they do come up in a lot of stories with children. Archie Battersby Rabbit. I expect we'll see him with his... Again, they put rabbit teddy bears next to him. I believe this is... Yeah, Archie was supposed to have rabbits and be very much into them. The other one was... Oh, what was that girl's name? Olivia from Liverpool. Shooting... I can't think of her name now. Olivia Pratt. Again, hang on, if we do a search for her, you will of course see her posing with her white rabbit. They, in all these stories about, basically, if you see a news story of a child with a white rabbit, generally that's not a good omen. I will say that. It will probably mean that the child will at some point be written out of it. Right, we'll go back to this horrible story of Indy Gregory. In fact, just to add it to my collection, I am gonna take a screenshot of the baby with its white rabbit. Yeah, I have covered that in the past, the significance. I mean, what the actual reason is, the meaning is it just coincidence? Maybe it's worth looking on here. White rabbits is white rabbit is a 33 in Chaldean numerology. Is that just coincidence? Yeah, these stories have come up before. Wow, even Pope Francis released a statement backing the family, saying he was praying for India and all the children suffering from war and disease. So this story was about as big as it got. Here, clearly the eyelashes are fake, aren't they? I mean, some babies have long eyelashes, absolutely, but this one looks like it's got eyeliner and had its eyes done. I don't know. I can't imagine parents doing that to their, putting eye makeup on a seriously ill child. But who knows. Another chance to have a close-up at the hand. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that side finger. Looks a little bit off. Yeah, there once again is the white rabbit. And in every one of these stories, they'll always show the baby with the pipe up its nose. That's a very common thing. Another strange thing, Who do you think owns the copyright to all these photographs of terminally ill babies? Is this one the families have taken? Yep. And then sold it on to PA, who then sell it, make money off of, this organisation making money off of pictures of dying babies. It's kind of beyond, beyond disgusting, really. This baby is supposed to be... Oh, what happened there? We're looking at this through an incubator, I think. Just look at the hand, the ghostly hand. I don't know, I suppose it's meant to be a reflection. But yeah, you'll see they haven't put the pipe in its nose on this occasion. The eyes also look very deep set. Okay. Yeah, in a hard-hitting statement, Pro Vita and Famiglia, an Italian pro-life group backing Indy and her family, condemned the UK government. I wouldn't put too much trust in these organisations. Controlled op, I think you could say. Apparently Indy's not the only... Yeah, we've got this story here about Charlie Gard. Let's see if any of the names come up in the numerology calculator. Charlie is 20 and 38. Charlie Gard is 59, 30. Okay, and then Connie Yates, who I believe was the child's mother. Connie is a 33 in Pythagorean and 26 in Chaldean. The whole name. Okay, 40, 49 Yates on its own. Let's have a look. 16 and 14. Okay. What happened to Indy and her family is terrible. The same thing happened to us 6 years ago with our son Charlie. Shall we maybe have a look at that case as well? I'm also curious to know whether the parents of Indy have got Instagram accounts, whether they put any of their pictures on Instagram. Let's have a look. Also, did Charlie Gard appear with... Well, it's a case that got an entry on Wikipedia. Do we see the images of white rabbits again? It'd be interesting to see. Is this a repeat of the same story? Okay, rather than white rabbits, we've got brown monkeys in this one. I'm sure we'll see a white rabbit before long, though. I personally don't remember this story. I mean, perhaps... Yeah, they do so many of these kind of stories that they are so easily forgotten about. But we're not looking at Charlie today. However, this image that they use for the Charlie Gard Foundation, bear in mind they also opened an Azalea Kane Foundation. Did they use almost identical imagery for that? Azalea Kane. Foundation. Let's see. Okay, perhaps not. No, they use orange. course, Azalea Kane is her middle name was Diamond. If we go to the numerology calculator and look up the word Diamond, it is of course a 33 name. And yeah, this story in which they raised millions, well over 1.5 million for supposed research into treatment, but they turned their dying child into something just to raise their profile, just like probably Charlie Gard, and just like Archie Battersby, and just like all these stories they get around the coverage. Right, every media outlet covers them. I've got to say, yeah, that heart, a heart within a heart. Where have I seen that before? I want to look up. See, I'm not sure. I don't know the symbology of it. Two hearts. It's not a very nice. Yeah, none of this is very nice, and of course, it's beyond vile to think that they would ever fake the passing of children. Unfortunately, they do. They absolutely do fake them. But yeah, we haven't. I mean, they even started a law, a Charlie's Law. What is it? Let's have a look. We'll read this article because I'm not familiar with that anyway. Okay, Charlie's tragic death on the 28th of July 2017 exposes the limitations of current processes available to parents, doctors and the NHS in an effort to ensure the best outcome for seriously ill children. Now, what is the best outcome, of course? It depends whether if you're the hospital, then the best outcome is that they give your baby as much treatment as possible, therefore they can claim money back off the NHS. For the families, obviously, probably in the best outcome is that the child has as little, is pretty much the complete opposite, unfortunately. Prevent cases reaching court. So they don't even want these cases going to court. No one wants to see disagreement over the care of seriously ill children being decided in courts. This legislation helps prevent cases from reaching court by providing access to clinical ethics committees throughout the NHS hospitals. Remember, the NHS hospital has a very different best outcome than the parents in a lot of cases. It supposedly protects parental rights by restricting court involvement, so the parents probably won't even be allowed to go to court anymore over it. It might look like a good thing, they're doing good, but unfortunately, I beg to differ. Right. Yeah, we were going to watch the father of Indy Kane talking, just curious to see what he had to say on the subject. It obviously goes without saying, in the event that Indy Kane is a genuine child, then I'd have nothing but sympathy for these people. But I just don't believe it is. Right, I need to set the mic up so you can hear this. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second. Greetings to Johnny Roadster. Lovely to see you in the chat, by the way. Watching on the TiVo on the big telly in the living room. Got to take the dog out, but back in 5. No problem, Johnny. Always good to see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. And Skeptic also for populating our live chat. If it weren't for you two and an earlier message by AJ, I would of course be talking to myself. So, right, I need to make the thumbnail a bit darker, I think. Hang on. So you can see the chat easier. Does that help? Hopefully. change the hue a bit as well might help. Okay, hopefully you can make out the text. Right, what am I doing? Okay. By the way, I'll have a look at the poll in a minute while we've got a bit of a... Just before we watch the video of... Whoops. Of Indy's father. Where is the poll? Not gone, is it? Right. 3 votes. We've got 2-1 at the moment. So if you want to have your say on whether Indy Gregory, you believe they're real or not, then yeah, I'm going to keep the poll open for as long as the stream's going on. So yeah, you've got a bit of time to have your say on that. Okay, there's the poll, by the way, with the 67 to 33. Where were we? We were going to watch this interview. Hopefully you'll be hearing it. Okay, just, yeah, let me know if you're hearing that. I might need to check that myself 1 second, because... Oh, of course you're not. Sorry, my apologies. I will make sure you hear it this time. Don't worry, it's only 21 seconds of him playing, of talking.
Very disappointed, shocked and heartbroken. We just don't see how it can be in Indy's best interest to be taken to a hospice or home to potentially pass away when we've got this truly beautiful offer from Italy who are willing to help her and treat her. And we've got 2 experts in her condition and a heart specialist both agreeing that it's in her best interest to have these treatments. I was having a panic attack driving here this morning.
Okay, well, just interrupt him there. This is a father who is... What he's saying makes absolute sense. I mean, of course, it doesn't make sense. It's never... How can it be in anyone's best interest to end their life? However, by the way, greetings to Bible You. Lovely to see you in the chat. If you were with us in the pre-show, I did mention... Yeah, my thanks to Nathan for giving this channel another shout out, because it put my sub number up to 2k, which has happened the last time and then it dropped again. But yeah, I remember you saying that you had subscribed off the back of that shout out, so big thanks. If you are just joining us, we're looking at a story about Indy Gregory. I'm not sure how widespread that story became. I mean, the Pope got involved. It looks like media outlets all around the world covered this story about the baby whose parents, just like Archie Battersby's parents, went to court. Just like Charlie Ward's parents. Charlie Gard. Yeah, this story is being played out a few times. My take on it is that having looked at some of the images, particularly... Yeah, we'll just round up. Particularly this one. Where was it? The second one here. Of supposedly Indy's christening. And you can... I don't know how clearly you can see that, but for me it is pretty blatantly... I mean, if that was the only image available, then I would have a hard time for 1 second believing that was anything other than an NHS training doll. Let's have a look. Yeah, and of course the crossover with Azalea Diamond Kane, another child, you know, a sick baby that passed away, and then her parents began fundraising. It's always fundraising. It always involves the public donating money to these people. Right, let's get back to the video of him talking very casually, actually. I'm not saying he's reading a script, but he doesn't seem to have too many emotions. Right, he said he was just having a panic attack. Let's go back 10 seconds a minute.
The condition and a heart specialist both agreeing that it's in her best interest to have these treatments. I was having a panic attack driving here this morning. Just stressful, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. You should have more rights as a parent for your child. Doctors don't always get it right. I mean, we've got doctors arguing, these doctors, and these are...
Okay, there he is saying, you know, the parents should have more rights. Well, just remember what the purpose of the Charlie Guard... What happened to that one? Yeah, the Charlie Guard law, which actually restricts parents from even going to court. Yeah, this story is certainly a repeat, unfortunately. Let's see. Alright, we'll carry on and let him talk. Sorry if it's a bit quiet, by the way. I'm not sure how well you're hearing it. Hopefully you're hearing it better than I am. Although I could turn my audio up, I guess.
Specialist in her condition. So it just makes you think, is it for Indy's best interest or is it for the trust's best interest? We're the ones making the sacrifice, putting our life on hold. They come to work every day and they have to do their job, no matter which child it is, they have to treat them. So we will do whatever it takes, and I'll fight to the end. Everyone sees how gorgeous she is. There's many videos and pictures you can see where she's very happy and alert and awake.
I would say it's funny he makes reference. If this is his real child, why would he... Who cares what pictures and videos are available? Is that all he sees of this kid? I don't know. I don't think he would need to reference the videos and images and videos of the child. I would guess that is all that's available.
She caught a couple of infections off the wards which have set her back. She had CPR because of sepsis E. coli. So it's just finding that balance of getting the treatments right and then...
How about getting it out of hospital?
Building her up to get her home. It makes me feel embarrassed to be British. And you've got these other countries willing to help and they won't even help her.
Yeah, very, you know, impassioned. Sounds like he's saying all the right things, but unfortunately, I think this is just another... It reminds me too strongly of Ashley Kane, who... He even looks like... the guy. Right, we'll see them if they've got Instagram and whether they put any Instagram pictures up. We are going to maybe do a quick intermission if we go on too much longer. We'll see. Or perhaps we will start wrapping up soon. I don't know. Right, what's the... Claire Stanford is the mother. We'll see if Claire is on Insta. Right, obviously there's a few Claires. Oh, Staniford. Okay, that should narrow it down. Spell the name right as well. Parents of Gregory. Yeah, my belief is that a lot of these fake babies are given to us on here. Just like, no, that's not her. Maybe they don't have it. I'm sure they've got one on Insta. I mean, I'm sure they've probably got a Facebook account now. Who knows? No, I don't think any of these are the actual Claire Staniford, so I'm not gonna keep looking. Right. Okay, we've been going about an hour. Skeptic asks, why is Claire smiling? Yeah, they're both loving the attention, just like the mother of Archie Battersby, who again, just like these couple. Have a look at Archie's mum when she was being interviewed. She always like, hang on, what was her mum's name? It was, I can't think of it now. I think she had two different names because she was supposedly, like the fictional character, as I said earlier, Oliver Battersby, whose mother went to the high courts to keep her baby on life support machine, just like that child. Yeah, they both their mums that used to be like prostitutes or pole dancers or something like that. What was her name? Holly Dance, that was it. Holly Dance. Hang on. Is that enough? If you ever see her, Archie Battersby's mum, she kind of, they almost seem to love the attention. I mean, at times she is, you know, they look like they're upset and crying, but I don't know.
I'm hoping that they step in and give Archie a right to live. I think that he deserves that. We've got 2 other countries have come forward and they've offered Archie treatment.
Does that sound familiar? Another country offering Archie treatment?
If this country can't treat him, or they're not willing to treat him, where is the harm in allowing him to go to another country? I'm running on empty. Yesterday was a very down day for me. People that know me know I won't stay down for long, especially when it comes to fighting for my son's life. So today I'm back up again and I'm fighting. I promised Arch, the same with his dad, that we will fight till the bitter end, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to fight for the right for my son to live. Why not give him that chance? Why is it so cut and shut? He has to die in this country because this country don't want to...
Do these kids have no right to, you know, privacy? Their medical histories being private? Nope. Put it all out there. Put it all on the news at 10. Everyone deserves to see this. Yeah, I once saw an image of Holly Dance, as she's called. She sees the press and she gives them this massive smile. Right, hang on. No, this is a different Holly Dance. Have I got the name right or wrong? Let's have a look. Right. I think I'll just stick with Archie Battersby's mum. But if you really want to see parents not behaving as you would expect them to be, then you really have to look at the parents of Azalea Kane. Again, had nothing to do with going to court. It was a lot more about... Where is it? There was this... yeah, a great clip where she gives the press a big smile, but I'm not sure how easily I could find that. I've covered it on other live streams in the past. Okay. Yeah, my gut is that a lot of these images are, well, all of them staged, I guess. Okay. Yeah, there was a video I put out once called When Safi's Mask Slipped, and it was about a video they put on Ashley Kane's Instagram account. We'll cover it just once more before we leave. I'm not sure how easily, because this guy must put hundreds of rubbish up. Yeah, he's the founder and trustee of the Azalea Foundation. Before the baby died, they raised like one. I'm not sure. They raised millions to try and keep this child alive on GoFundMe. Obviously, the child wasn't kept alive. They weren't able to use the money for its intended purpose. So what do you think happened to it? Well, surely they returned it to the donators, yeah? Nope. They started what they called the Azalea Kane Foundation. Yeah, this guy's so full of rubbish, I can't bring myself to listen to the utter garbage they spout. I am particularly keen to find one video. Yeah, were it not for this child's baby passing away, they would have nothing. By weird coincidence, yeah, his brother gave birth to a baby daughter like 3 days before he did, which I thought was slightly suspect. Where is it? I mean, we could just search my channel for... Let's see, hang on. When Safi's Mask Slipped. I uploaded it relatively recently. Oh, I thought... Here we go. And it was a live stream I did about... Yeah, they had this ridiculous race outside the hospital. Yeah, this is parents whose child are going in for treatment. I think this was really close to the end. Alright, I just want to... I'm not sure how well it will play back. But it will probably be all stuttery because we're watching an old video of... Yeah, I'd rather find it on his Instagram account, actually. Let's see whether we will or not. Whether it stayed up there. Yeah, it was just so clearly not the behaviour of parents whose children are, whose baby is dying. It's kind of, yeah, offensive and disgusting. Another thing I mentioned about this guy is, what do you think was one of the first things he did after his baby died? He bought a pair of Nike Air trainers, the pair that he's got on in this particular, these orange ones. He bought these trainers and shared them on Instagram, almost like a product placement deal with Nike. Yeah, I know you've just lost your baby, Ashley, but you remember you've got a product placement deal on Instagram. Don't let anything get in the way of that. The colour orange is no coincidence. This liar pretended that he ran 100 miles, beyond a marathon. Of course, they never ran 100 miles. This whole thing's a joke. Another horrible story, but unfortunately, yeah, these people posing next to sports cars and are then asking you to donate your money to the Azalea Foundation. It's really horrible, really insulting, really offensive. They boast about having ensuite bathrooms. I mean, that's not too excessive, but they go on about, oh yeah, we've got 3 bathrooms in our house and we're racing for the ensuite. I'm desperate to find that video. I'm sure I will sooner or later. Sorry to inflict this garbage on you. Yeah, we're gonna bring the stream to a close in a minute, actually. While I'm looking, we'll bring up the live chat again. Johnny says that Boris... Oh, Skeptic points out Battersby is a 33. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised about that. We'll check. Johnny mentions Boris's ex. Her... Right. Hang on. Yeah, I'm unable to read your comment properly because of the heart in the way. By the way, can we make hearts come out? Brilliant. Let's see if I'm... Okay, Boris Johnson's ex. Her name is Jennifer Arcuri. 100% certain. We'll have a look at that in a minute if you want. Right, how easily can I find this video? We could be here forever, me searching this for this. I have covered it a few times. Of course, once the story of Azalea, of this baby, was done, the couple separated anyway. Okay, by the way, here is the tweet, or the post on Instagram that Ashley put out, which, when you read it, is absolutely bizarre. Right now, it's taken everything... Yeah, this was within a week or two of the baby dying. It's taken everything I have to begin each new day. The pain of not being able to see my little girl is consuming my whole body. So this afternoon, I put on my new running trainers that I bought after Azalea gained her angel wings. So we went out and bought a pair of Nike Air trainers after losing his child. Just doesn't ring true. And then what does he do? He goes and puts them on Instagram. Is that the behaviour of genuine parents? Right, I'm determined to find the video. And I mean, he might have taken it off because it was just too ridiculous that I gotta find it. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's on here somewhere. I'll scroll down a little bit longer and see how we get on. There they are. Yeah, they always, you know, these celebrities, anything to bring out a book. This story, yeah, so big that they had monuments like the Eiffel Tower. They changed it to the colour orange in memory of the baby. Think of the genuine babies out there that are ill and do pass away, unfortunately, every day. How many of them get monuments lit up for them? Once we get to that, you know, once we get to that part on his Instagram account, then we're getting close to the video I'm after. Yeah, we'll go down a bit more and see. Goodness me, he posts a lot of rubbish. Right, that isn't it. Yeah, all these posts are actually done since the baby passed away, I think. I think he repeats a lot of them. I'm not sure. My goodness. Yeah, thank you for your patience going through all this with me. You might see the same picture coming up again and again. That is because they just reuse the same footage over and over. Oh my goodness. Right. Yeah, here we've got all the duping delight. This is supposedly at the funeral for the child, and they've all got such big smiles on their face. This is a baby's funeral. Keep smiling, hey. I mean, he manages to look kind of a bit sad until it's time for him to give his eulogy, and then he just cannot stop smiling. This is him on stage giving his eulogy. Look at the face. Look at him. He just cannot keep that smile away. couldn't look happier if you tried, if you ask me. There we go. It would never take... There we go. Keep that duping delight. This week leading up to Azalea's Day was comprised of sadness, fear and anxiety. Try telling your face that. You couldn't look happier if you tried, Ashley. Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting close to the... Look, and there's that same tweet again about his trainers. We're getting close to the point where they lit up the monuments around the world. Here we go. This is the video I wanted. We'll go back to it in a second. I want to find the monument bit first. Although, okay, it's on there somewhere, I'm sure of it. Yeah, this is two parents that are about to lose their child, seriously ill. Look how they behave.
So we've been talking about going home and stuff like that, yeah?
What they're saying is we're talking about going home with our seriously ill baby that is terminal.
Then this one said, when we go back home, I want an ensuite
Note the pentagrams that appear on both his and her top.
bathroom. We've got 3 bathrooms in the house, but the ensuite is my sanctuary. So I said, I ain't going to give you that. You're going to have to work for that. You're going to have to fight for that. You're going to have to take it off me.
Bear in mind, these people boasting about their 3 bathrooms are asking you to donate money to keep their child alive. A child that probably doesn't even... Well, it doesn't exist. It never existed, as far as I'm concerned.
He woke up this morning and chose smoke. She said she wanted a race, yeah? So all right then. It's a race for the ensuite bathroom.
Remember, guys, you're supposed to be grieving... Well, parents of a seriously ill baby. Try not to look like you're having too much fun.
Listen, on your set and go. Listen. Listen, do it properly. I ain't playing you. On your set and go. Smoked her! Smoked her!
Listen to her laughing in the background. Could not be happier. She's loving it.
Stopping traffic, yo. Listen. Listen.
Right. By the way, what I believe we're looking at, this person's face on Instagram, sorry, their name on Facebook is Dollface. I believe they superimpose images over these people, and at the very last frame of this video, you see this woman for what she is.
Bathroom.
Hang on.
That's my sanctuary.
You see her as the vile, ugly witch that she really is.
I'm going to be sitting on there 20, 30 minutes now.
Hang on, get ready. Okay, looks normal. Watch that face melt. There you go. Unfortunately, we got that thing in the way. But can we not? Yeah, I cover it more in the video when Safi's mask slipped. It turns into... She just turns into some sort of haggard old witch. It's really kind of bizarre. Anyway, yeah, look at that face. If you can't see it close up, we will do one close up. Just, I don't know if it's nighttime here, so anyone in the UK, I hope I don't give you nightmares looking at this face. What is going on there? Look at the bent, twisted nose. Look at the big fat cheek. Look at the massive chin. Is that just the camera stretching out and blurring? Who knows? Absolutely bizarro in my book, though. Jeff, lovely to see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Always appreciated. Right, we were going to have a look at a couple of things you guys mentioned. Oh, what am I doing? Right, Battersby, the number... Skeptic says it's 33, and while I don't believe him, I would like to check that. Battersby, let's see. Double E at the end, sorry, I'm spelling it wrong. That's how they spell it in Coronation Street. Yep, you're absolutely right, Skeptic. Thank you for pointing that out. Battersby is indeed a 33 name. As is Skeptic points out the orange trainers. Yeah, that Instagram account is awash with orange. And what colour do you think they lit up all the monuments around the world? Orange. I don't know how we got onto just going on about Ashley again. Where is it? Maybe it was... Yeah, they made out it was her colour or something. I want to find it. I'm sure they posted about it on here. There's no way they wouldn't have. But I'm not sure. And then Johnny Roadster mentioned Boris Johnson's ex, who I'm not actually familiar with, Jennifer Arcuri. Let's have a quick look at that one then. Hang on. Before we do... Azalea Kane monuments. Right. Attractions illuminated for baby with leukemia. Apparently Niagara Falls was lit up orange. Sheffield United's football ground. They did a bit of skywriting. I'm sure they did more than that. I thought the Eiffel Tower was lit up. Oh, it was on her Instagram account, not his. Mrs. Vorier. I would be curious to see what that is in numerology, actually. Voragi. Is that how you spell it? 27 and 31. I'm not sure what her full name is, but she goes by Safi. 4852. Okay. Right. Okay. The London Eye has been confirmed. It will also light up orange at the end of this week, later this week. The Coventry Blaze hockey team and Nottingham Panthers. Coventry's Whittle Archers. Oh, I see. These are... In order to see the Twitter content, I'm supposed to... Gotcha. Even the London Underground did send in love to Azalea Kane, an 8-month-old beautiful princess. Yeah, this is all utter rubbish. Okay, we'll go back to the live chat, and I was going to have a look at Jennifer. Thank you, by the way, for the odd heart that comes up now and again. Jennifer Arcuri. Oh, was that a reference to the person who played Holly? Looking like... because you're absolutely right. We'll bring up the display one more time. Hang on. If that's what you were saying, that Holly Dance looked very similar to Jennifer Arcuri, I'm just assuming, unless they've been in the news recently. Although Holly Dance isn't actually her name, we've got to look up Archie Battersby's mum. Hang on. Okay, yeah, the proper spelling of Archie Battersby is with a double E, so that is a 33. You're absolutely right, Skeptic. Thank you for pointing that out. Also, the colour of his trainers. Yeah, you're not wrong when you say she looks very similar. If that's what you're saying, maybe you could confirm. What am I doing? I'm looking at the wrong thing. Images. You're not wrong when you point out how much she looks like Boris Johnson's ex, assuming that is what you're saying, as I said. Hang on, where are we? I don't like that picture, sorry. I want a picture without him in it, really. So what do they call her? Oh. Yeah, I know one of her names was Holly Dance, but I'm not sure. Right, surely they must tell us her name. Oh, here she is in the studio talking to Eamon Holmes, and they're using all their pre-recorded, pre-edited footage. Let's listen to this a minute. Before we play our video that we're going to finish with tonight, we'll just watch this interview.
We'll be showing pictures of Archie, and we were covering the story yesterday, and both Isabel and I, we just looked and we thought, what a beautiful looking boy. I mean, absolutely, you know, you're blessed having him, athletic, a lot of energy, and he was taking part in, what would you describe it as, a prank of something very dangerous anyway? To explain to us
think
what...
that he may have been participating in an online challenge.
I will point out, if you read the coroner's verdict on the death of Archie Battersby, and if you ever listen to her being interviewed, well, we'll see. Maybe she'll bring it up. She gets this thing about the TikTok challenge it's not consistent with what she tells us. Anyway.
A dare?
It's not a dare, it's something that is on these...
Also, look at this hand. Look at the arm. Okay, it's pointed out that he was supposedly deceased at this point and was literally just being kept breathing. But look how rubbery the hand looks. It is either basically a corpse that's just being kept alive, or it's a rubber doll. They quite often show this image of his hand.
Something that is on these online apps, and it's more like a challenge. And I think,
and this involves
Archie's not stupid, but
something
he's very
going
daring.
around his neck.
Well, under his chin, but very close to the windpipe, which is where it cut him off, and going round to the back of his head, so just like a tired hoop, and they balance the weight on it. So a bit like a chokehold.
And you find him?
I did find him, yeah.
After how long, do you think?
I know now it was 3 minutes. I've gone through a timeline, and I think this is where this hasn't been put over to the judge, and I appreciate the judge has to make a ruling based on the evidence that's been put in front of her, and we haven't had a fair hearing. We've been allowed no medical experts in on our side, apart from obviously Dr. Schumann from the USA, that he doesn't agree with the doctors over here, and I think that is quite important to actually get across.
The disagreement, just highlight to people what the disagreement is. You believe he was maybe deprived of oxygen for 3 minutes or so.
3 minutes.
The medical experts on their disagreement, just highlight to people what the disagreement is. You believe he was maybe deprived of oxygen for 3 minutes or so.
3 minutes.
The medical you believe he was maybe deprived of oxygen for 3 minutes or so.
3 minutes.
The medical experts on their side
have gone on 40 minutes.
And the difference would be what?
Massive
that he would
difference.
be unrecoverable from 40 minutes?
So the doctor that we've got from the USA, very highly qualified doctor, he said that Archie suffered 10% necrosis, which is fully reversible. I think that's very important to get across. It's fully reversible. And part brain stem obviously damaged. Now, Archie holds his own blood pressure, he holds his own body temperature. The only time he calls and he would need a bear hugger is after he's been stripped and he's having a bath.
Look, this is incredibly hard for a mother at a time when you just want to be by your little boy's bedside every minute of the day, I'm sure, and to be having to...
The thing is, she is rarely by her mother's. She's constantly giving interviews for the press. And what a strange-looking person, by the way. Oh, Bible you says there was no sound, and Jeff says looks like a fake arm. Let me just check. You've got the audio back. Sorry, I think I may have been pointing out her dupe in delight. Perhaps I didn't unmute the microphone. So, if not, where we went back and they were talking about how long she had been deprived of, her face just broke into a smile, and they had to keep her off. You know, they had to switch. They had to put the camera back on Eamon very quickly. Yeah, this is a 10-minute interview, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. But, and yeah, I agree with Jeff. It does indeed look fake all the way.
I've shook my hand vigorously to get Archie's.
Bible, you mentions a dead body wouldn't be able to grasp the hands.
We're seeing this. We're seeing this on screen.
For me, that does look. It's either the arm of a. It just looks so fake to me. Come on, I'm not sure how well you can see that. I would recommend you go and watch this video for yourself and make your own judgment. We're on 1080p, which is as high as it'll get.
No, and there is a grip there.
There's a very firm grip there.
Yeah.
I've got lots of videos like this. He's partly opened his eyes. You know, his blood pressure.
Yeah, this I believe is all CGI probably. It's not particularly high quality. Right, let's see when she signs off if she can spare Eamon a big smile before she goes.
How we've been dealt with from being in the Royal London Hospital has been completely shocking from day one, so I've had to go into fight mode, really.
I'm sorry to hear that. We wish you
She's always kind of got a bit of a smile just creeping through.
the best of
Thank
luck
you.
with all of this. Come back and let us know.
I will.
Hopefully.
There we go. Hang on. I mean, maybe it's not that unusual to... Oh, what happened there?
Sorry to hear that. We wish you the best of
Thank
luck
you.
with all of this. Come back and let us know.
I will.
See, big smiles of someone whose child is on life support. It doesn't ring true to me. Yeah, we're fast approaching 11:30 p.m. We are getting to a point now where I just get too tired and I'm unable to effectively do a productive live stream. So as Bible, you had to point out, I dropped the sound earlier. We had a bit of dead air. That's going to happen more and more now the later it gets. Skeptic points out devil horn signs with the fake baby's hand grasping. Yep. And Johnny says, yeah, is agreeing that Boris Johnson's ex does look like Holly Dance, or whatever name they give her. Yeah, there was someone shared a link to a interesting... it was a forum where they really looked closely. Let me see if I can find that before we go. Hang on. By the way, yeah, I will share a link to that video we just watched in the live chat if anyone wants to view it for themselves. Archie's mum's interview, and I will try and put links to this stuff in the description of tonight's video in case you're watching after. Greetings to Nathan Oakley in the live chat. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, you have come in right at the end, actually, where I'm getting to the point now where I can no longer function because it's getting close to midnight. So we are going to have to wrap up. Yeah, in the pre-show, actually, Nathan, I did thank you for shouting out my channel recently. Because it put my numbers just above 2k. Well, it put my numbers up to 2k again, which the last time you shouted it out, it got over 2k. And then it dropped again, so we'll see if it drops again this time. My channel for like the last 5 years has been between 1.94k and 201k. Never goes above that. Who knows? Right, what were we going to look at? I forgot. Nathan, you'll do it again. Yeah, thank you. Thanks ever so much. Well, when it next drops below 2K, I'll give you a nod and you can give me another shout out. But yeah, I know your wonderful moderator, Divergent Droid, put a link to the channel in the live chat, and I believe that helped. Of course, that's how we've got BibleU/Paula with us, and I believe Skeptic came over probably the previous time or one of the earlier times you gave this channel a shout out, so it is massively appreciated. And yeah, I consider it a huge compliment being compared to Russian vids, as you did. Yep, Skeptic, thanks for the presentation. You are most welcome. I'm not doing these live streams every Sunday anymore. Some of these subjects, I mean, here we are looking at a babies on life support machine. Now, my view on it is it's not legitimate. They're not real babies. But just a subject, I don't want to entertain this subject too much. So rather than doing a live stream every Sunday without fail, I'm now doing them as they come to me. Well, yeah, this story about tonight's main subject was supposed to be about Indy Gregory. On that note, in the live chat, we do have a poll. Let's see, how's that one working out? 20% do believe that Indy Gregory is a real baby, 40% no, and 40% are not sure. The story of Indy, just like, yeah, as I said, just like 6 years ago, they did an identical story with a child called Charlie Gard, and that ended up with laws being put in place that, although it sounded like a good thing, if you look at Charlie Gard's law, it says that parents won't be allowed to go to court, or it prevents parents taking the case to court. It doesn't sound like a good thing to me. It sounds absolutely terrible. Because the best outcome for a hospital is that they can give your child, your baby, as much treatment as possible. Obviously, the best outcome for a parent is that the child returns home safe and well, but yeah, it's a vile subject. But yeah, just like with Archie Battersby, just like with Olivia, the girl that was shot in London, some other stories, we see white rabbits, that symbology comes up. The number 33 comes up a lot. Okay, I think that's where we're going to probably start wrapping up. We have... Right, before we do, I will say a big thank you to Nathan Oakley, Jeff Gashead, BibleU, Skeptic, Johnny Roadstar, and AJ R. Wild for taking the time to comment in the live chat. If anyone wants to do such a thing before we go, you've got a couple of minutes. Yeah, if you haven't seen this video, I did back in... Let me see, where was it? This is a video from September 2022, the coincidental funeral of Archie Battersby. It goes on for about 7 minutes. If you've got that amount of time, hang on. Can I bring the live chat up on here? Oh, it's all over the place, right? Let's see. Is that even readable? I'm not sure. It might not be, so... Okay. Yes, I will be back at some point with more content, no doubt. Thanks to anyone that took the time to tune in. I would actually like to humbly request, before you leave, that if you've enjoyed tonight's content, you take the time to hit the thumbs up button. That would be like massive. Hang on. Where are we? Yeah, if you want to hit the thumbs up before you leave, always appreciated. Subbing and subscribing. Okay, I'll leave you watching the coincidental funeral of Archie Battersby from September 2022. I do start rambling at this point in the stream, so I'm just going to cut it off. Alright, I will have the live chat on for a couple of minutes after this video plays out. For now, I wish everyone a wonderful week ahead, and I'll be back soon. Take care. Enjoy the video. Okay, over and out. Good night. Greetings. Now, one video I looked at in some detail was that of Oliver Battersby. Oh, sorry, no. Oliver Battersby was the boy from Coronation Street whose mother repeatedly went to appeal court cases to stop his life support being turned off. Archie Battersby was the supposed real-life child whose mother repeatedly went to appeal courts to stop his life support being turned off. Going back to this story, as I said, I did cover it in some detail with my video, The Boy in the Machine. It was left open-ended. We didn't come to any definite conclusions. I thought it interesting that they had now held his funeral. Now, interestingly, if we go back a couple of months to June, we look at when Deborah James was still around before her funeral. I did a video, Deborah James, a prediction, where I made a series of predictions about what we would see at her funeral. I think in the end I only got like 1.5 right. Had I made these same predictions for Archie Battersby, I would have been giving myself a lot more ticks. Again, going back to another story that I've covered, David Amos, if we remember his funeral, the video I made about the David Amos fairy tale, referencing all the high profile funerals that seem to use horse-drawn carts. Believe me, there's a lot of them. I'll play this little outro at the end of this video. Well, we can now add Archie Battersby to the list. In fact, some parallels between Archie and David Amos. In the case of Archie, his funeral was held at St Mary's Church in Southend. In the case of David Amos, his casket was carried into St Mary's Church in Southend. So apparently they used the same church, they used the same black horses and horse-drawn cart. Something else we heard. Bells tolled at the church as teary-eyed mourners began to arrive. What was it they said in Archie's story? Church bells tolled as the coffin carried inside, with the song Hypnotize by American rapper Notorious B.I.G. playing over the speakers. Interesting choice of song there. Hypnotize. Are some of these people literally being hypnotized? Yeah, the Mirror seemed to have put this little piece together for Archie. It shows a screen they had up in the church showing all the great CGI render. I mean, the wonderful pictures that his mother managed to get with him. It just strikes me that people came to this funeral not to mourn, not to pay their respects to 12-year-old Archie, but to get some photographs which they could then sell on to the Daily Mirror in the case of this. Here we see the coffin being brought into St Mary's. This colour, black with a hint of purple, was the uniform of the day. It was requested that everyone comes wearing black with a hint of purple because they must love the colour purple for some reason. Perhaps it was Archie's colour, who knows. Even the Reverend was wearing it round his neck. They keep going on about she thinks he may have been taking part in an online challenge and suffered brain damage. Constantly going on about this online challenge. Here she is looking quite the part, and here are all these photographers. I'm sorry, for me that would be like, this is a dignified event, it's my son's funeral, can you get lost with your cameras? What are you doing trying to take photos and make money off the death of my son? You're an absolute disgrace to your profession. Nope, she doesn't care about any of it. In fact, check this out in a minute. All for the cameras, shot of the horse-drawn carriage pulling up. This guy even gets up on the embankment just to film it. What's he going to do, sell it on? And with absolute dry eyes, completely 100% dry eyes. At least she's managing to keep the duping delight down. No massive smiles, although we don't see her for long. She pretends like she's about to cry, but with not one dropped smudge of makeup, she reads this very nondescript eulogy that she says about her son. He was perfect, he was a good boy. How about telling us some memories you've got of your son? No, he was great, he was perfect. Who would show these horrific images of him on his deathbed? Are they so short of happy memories that they've got to resort to showing this disgusting crap? I do wonder. Didn't make any predictions about his funeral, but if I had, and if I'd used the same predictions I did for Deborah James, I think it would have been hit after hit after hit, although I don't know if many celebrities attended, but of course his mum's now a celebrity. She's loving all the attention. Actually, I wouldn't have got the funeral being held very quickly. It was a good few weeks ago, so they held out on that one. So we go back and look at the story. It featured videos of him singing and performing gymnastics. They harp on about the court case and failed in bids to overturn a High Court ruling, a bit like Leanne's Battersby in Coronation Street, but of course this is meant to be real life. Although the parallels between Archie Battersby and Oliver Battersby are incredible. During the service, a video of Archie singing One Call Away by Charlie Puth was played. Again, it reminds me of not the funeral of Olivia Campbell. If you're not familiar with her, she was one of the victims of the Manchester bombing, but her parent supposedly played a video of her singing a song at their wedding. They got married a second time for Olivia because they had to do something with all the money they'd raised from her passing, and they just decided to blow it all on a Olivia themed wedding. But here is your Archie themed funeral. It's very telling that these pictures are provided by The Independent, all copyright of PA Wire. Who are PA Wire? Let's have a look. They provide a 24/7 feed of verified, supposedly, meaning they made them themselves, text, pictures, video, graphics and data to newsrooms around the British Isles. So when photographers come to events like funerals and start snapping pictures of the coffin, it's all for money. That's all they're doing it for. It's just a business. Kind of disgraceful in my book. Anyway, Archie will be added on to the list of people that have had their coffin pulled by a horse-drawn carriage. This taken from the end of my David Amos fairy tale video from back in November 21. I thank everyone for taking the time to watch this. I invite your comment. Cheers everyone. Fairy tale? Well no, not exactly. It's just one of those very common things to look out for that they do certainly use in high-profile stories. Could it be that every time a grieving family enters an undertaker's, they say, by the way, did your loved one die in a high-profile incident? And if they happen to say yes, they say, well, that's great, we can give you the special celebrity package where you get a horse-drawn carriage thrown in, and also we televise the funeral for you, as long as you can get the press behind it. Otherwise you just have to make do with the bog standard funeral that anyone else would expect. All I know is fabricated events always seem to take on a familiar formula, and it's just being able to spot these telltale signs. And with these death hoax, it seems to be that chucking in a horse-drawn carriage is their nod to the audience that, yeah, this is a fairy tale.